Hi, I'm Weimin Tan, Manhattan property broker, and this is our June update. The summary right now for the Manhattan market is that it's a seller's market. Mortgage rates are really low. That's one driver. There's pent-up demand. The buyers who were supposed to buy last year didn't buy, so they're all buying this year. There's optimism from the COVID vaccines, and Manhattan is close to normal. The companies are calling people back. The rental market has picked up a lot. But let's start with these examples, which I like to do in the beginning. The one on the left is my client's signed 3-bedroom apartment that has dual exposures. And this one looks out to West Side Highway, which is 10 lanes. So you see there's so much open space. And here is the Barry ball field, which is why you see so much open space, which is very rare in Manhattan. The one in the middle here is my client's corner apartment that is one block from the World Trade Center. It looks south, and you see New York Harbor here, and east, so there's a lot of light and dual exposure. The key thing is that you have lights coming from two directions as opposed to the typical one, so that's why it's great to have a corner apartment that has dual exposures. The one on the bottom right is the kitchen of this one, and I'm pointing this out because it has a Sub-Zero fridge, which is the Rolls-Royce of fridges. It has a Viking stove, it has a window. So these are all features of a highly desirable kitchen. It has an open kitchen, so when one is cooking here, they can speak to the guests or the friends who are in the living room, right? So this is why open kitchens are desirable. Let's move on to the next slide. The 30-year fixed rate mortgage, we are at a historical low, and this is one key reason as to why the market is so hot. From a buyer's perspective, you would want to lock in this low rate because it's going to be locked in for the next 30 years. So the cost of funds stays the same, and for investors, the rents are going to increase over time while the cost of funds stays the same. This is a very important slide, and it explains why people are taking advantage of the market right now. Manhattan negotiability at time of the deal. This is how much discount can you get from the original ask and from the last ask. The blue bars reflect the discount from the original ask, so that's the original listing price. And what happens is that if the property doesn't sell, the seller would decrease the price, and then there's the last asking price, which is basically the final asking price that you see online. Right now, the negotiability has gotten a lot less. The variability from the original ask is 4.52%, and from the last ask it's 2.56%. Back in June it was the highest, right? It was 9.5% of the original ask and 6.25% of the last ask. Right now it's a seller's market, so it's a lot more competitive, and that's why the negotiability is a lot less. But it's super important to know that the key to determining a good deal is off of the close comparables and not off of the asking price. The seller can ask whatever they want, right? And you could get 20% off the asking price if the asking price is ridiculously high. That doesn't mean it's a good deal. You have to look at it based on the close comparables, which is what we do with all our clients when we are bidding. Manhattan is currently a seller's market, and you can see the bottom of the pandemic was in July. Here the bottom section is where it's a buyer's market, and here is neutral, and right now we are in a seller's market. What does that mean? It means that buyers have to act fast, there's less negotiability, and the deal is in getting the apartment, not in negotiating off X of the asking price and so forth. The rental market is recovering as companies are calling people back to the office. A lot of companies starting the middle of June are requiring employees to be back at work, let's say 2 days a week and so forth. So that is why the last 2 months the rental market has been picking up a lot. Right now we have applications where they are not even negotiating on the price of the rent, versus 6 months ago everyone was asking for 2 months free. So the market has changed a lot. The streets are a lot busier, the subways are so much busier, and we are not back to normal, but we are close. This is the historical price trend, and right now we are at the beginning stages of the next upturn. You see it goes up, and then there's a recession, it comes down. This was the great financial crisis, and then it goes up for 7 years or so. This was a slowdown, and this was the pandemic, and right now we are at the beginning stages of the next up wave, which usually lasts for around 7 years. So it's now the bottom. Of course it's not the bottom. The bottom was in July of 2020, but now it's the beginning stages of the current up wave, which should last for several years. And that's a brief bio. Thank you for your time.